Hello everyone, my name is Deekshitha Prashant. I am from Humanities Department, Yenepoya University. Here we are today to discuss about new topic, that is different writing styles. So when we talk about writing, the first question comes to our mind is who can write? Yes, let's know more about it. Writing and reporting basically is associated with journalist, which is their profession. Journalism is a form of writing that tells people about things that truly happened but something unknown and not known about already. But anyone with the basic grasp of grammar and syntax can write an article. You must learn how to write articles that sells. As a writer, you have number of platforms where you can publish your write-up and be professional freelance writers. Magazines, newspapers, commercial blogs and informational websites are always hungry for fresh and original content. Even when writing white papers, business-to-business communications, emails, campaigns, advertising, marketing copy, reports, guidelines, handbooks, the article structure is always your starting point. But before talking about the professional platforms, you as a college student, you can start writing right now. The effort to be a professional writer or freelance writer starts from the basic level in your college days. You can be a part of college magazine or even report an event at your college function, which can help to enrich your writing skills. But what is important is you need to start somewhere. If your interests are for writing or you think you can express words better in writing, then you must give a try. Who knows, there might be a lot of talent hidden in you which you yourself are not aware or experienced. So start now, start today. So students, the secret to good article writing is to understand how we basically plan and structure a piece before you actually write it. A well-structured article allows you to use your writing skills to best advantage and communicate your ideas correctly, concisely, clearly, coherently and main importantly, completely. The key to good structure is good planning. You might be good at different styles of writing like formal report, creative writing, artistic writing or even content writing. So, today's class, let's learn about different types of writing styles that have their tone and temperament. So, let's look into all these along with the examples. So, students, are you all interested to know more about writing? You might have seen so many articles, so many content in newspapers or in your daily lives. Okay, but then how do you differentiate all these things into different styles and how to find out in which area you are good at? So let's look into different writing styles. Slowly we will get to know what suits your characteristics and your speciality. So a thought that seems really simple in your mind can be difficult to replicate into written words, isn't it? You have so many things in your mind, but to put that into words, that's actually hitchy. Like it takes some time to, actually to convey what you really mean and what you really feel into words. You can speak fluently, you can speak nicely, but putting them into words, that takes really a good effort. So, however, to convey your thoughts with precision to your readers, you need to be skilled at penning them down. You're penning your thoughts, your opinions into words, okay? So, if you want to become a strong writer for a job or even for fun, okay, we like to just write, we just like to show our feelings, emotions through writing. So, even that is also a part of our daily growth. So, this is not an easy task. We might write, we might scribble at any point, but to convey what we have written to other person, that is a real good job. Okay, so if you think this is as easy as writing anything on paper, then you are wrong. However, there are different types of writing styles that are used for different types of purposes. On the other hand, there are many types of writers. Are they all same? No, of course not. As a result, different writing styles are used for different situations, and way to use them is the most important step in becoming a professional writer. The author's unique way of communication with the words is basically called writing style. Each one has their own writing style. Like you might have different writing style, the other person might have different writing style, but the content what you write is important. At the same time, the different style what each person has that differentiate one writer from another writer. The author usually creates a style with the voice and tone that they apply to their text. So sound and tone to the text, that sounds weird, right? Yes, that's basically what you need to do as a writer. You need to add voice and to tone to your text. How do you do that? That is the way of writing style. On the other hand, the type of writing depends on type of writing, the audience and who they are writing for. So before writing, we must know our audience, because if it is school students, we cannot use some high level English or some unknown facts or some very tough words for them to digest. So it has to be very simple, so suiting to their mind and mindset. So audience are very important when you are writing your articles or whatever type of content you are doing. Okay. So each writer has their style, which may vary from project to project, audience to audience, which depends on again the writing style. However, you will find some authors that maintain a cohesive writing style. That is why we have some successful writers, some struggling writers and yet to start writers just like you. So let's discuss different types of writing styles that a writer uses. Let's see what you are good at and let's practice each one of the writing styles and you can find your talent hidden inside you. Okay, first one we are going with narrative writing. Have you heard this term, narrative writing? Narration, narrating a story? Yes, it's basically like how you are narrating a story in a written form. Narrative writing, not narrative storytelling. It is writing. Okay. So the main aim of narrative writing is to tell people what happens somewhere or with someone. The narrative writing includes both fiction or non-fiction, like realistic stories or real stories like non-fiction or fiction stories. Whereas non-fiction is based on real events, fiction writing is completely made up depending on the imagination, depending on the writer's creativity. Examples for narrative writing are novels, diaries, short story, presentation, speeches and many more. In novel, for that matter, we have imaginary stories like imaginary characters, imaginary stories, imaginary places. But it can also, a realistic novel about someone's life, or you might have seen like so many novel stories inspired based on true stories. So that can be not made up stories but real events. So narrative writing not always fictional, it can be non-fictional as well. Expository writing is basically used to educate or explain a particular topic to its reader. It basically explains, describes, defines, instructs and informs. So the main goal of expository writing is to teach the reader about something rather than entertainment. Questions like when, who, what, where and why are answered in expository writing. So these are more serious form of writing and purely based on facts and figures, not imaginatory or fictional stories. Example for expository writings are scientific writings, textbooks, technical writing, recipes writing, blogs, flipbook, animations and many more. For example, in scientific writing, you have to write something which is tested, proved and something valid. You cannot write something randomly based on your imagination. And textbooks for that matter, it has to be based on facts which the students or any educational institutions read, refer and learn based on that. So, descriptive writing is basically the author writes about every aspect of the person, place or event, describing all aspects in detail. Descriptive writing makes the reader feel as they are present there. It is basically giving a pictorial description of the particular place, person through your words. So, you basically explain every detail inch by inch with the described formats. Examples for descriptive writing is poetry. Yes, poetry you can see explaining sea based on the other background information and the color, the feel, the experience what you have in sea. That is poetic, very artistic form of describing something. So, that is descriptive writing. Second one is copywriting, narrative non-fiction, fictional stories whereby you describe a person sitting in a garden. So, you not only describe a person but also describe the garden, the places around the garden, the beauty of the garden, the plants or the monuments in the garden. So, that is describing or elaborately describing the person, the place and the surroundings around that person. As the name suggests, persuasive means encouraging, motivating a person to do something. It is action oriented. So, persuasive writing is used to convince the reader about something. A certain opinion or idea is the best one. This type of writing is written when an author has a strong opinion on something or encourages people to take action regarding any issue. Examples for persuasive writing are essays, cover letter, an opinion piece in the newspaper, reviews, sales writing. Taking example sales writing, you might see many of the marketing copies which ask the consumers to buy this, buy that. It persuades with the reason why they need to buy, why that product is important for them, what is the purpose of buying that particular product. So, that is one form of persuasive writing wherein our audience is encouraged, motivated to do some action, that is buying. Taking another example is reviews. Reviews, it can be you are encouraging a person to buy a product with your reviews, tried and tested reviews, or you are giving a review about a movie wherein you are telling whether the audience must watch that particular movie or not. So, that is also examples for persuasive writing. So, let us go to next type of writing, that is creative writing. So, this is very common and you must have heard it everywhere, creative writing. There might be so many workshops, places where you improve your writing based on creative writing. So, this is something which is heard everywhere, but practically we have very less knowledge on how to basically start your creative writing. So, let us see what it is creative writing. It is the style of writing where the author breaks the boring writing structure and thinks outside the box. Okay. As a result, the main aim of creative writing is to surprise the reader and storyteller in a completely different way. It is differently from the formal writing. In this place, the writer's creativity is at the topmost priority, because there is no structure, there is no particular format, there is no particular concept. A creative writing can give the audience surprises and more surprises. In other words, creative writing is the art of making things up. Any writing that requires imagination comes under the type of creative writing. So, it's basically you imagine, you come up with new concepts, you come up with new characters. For example, in animation movies we see so many characters which are not real basically, but then we want something to be like that. For example, we imagine, for example, we want a person or a doll talking to us or a robot doing all our works. So that is possible, that is described in the animation movies. So those are all your imagination, which is far away from the reality, but yet it is creative and nice to watch and read. Okay, so that is creative writing. Examples are for screenwriting, flash fiction, biographies, script writing, all those are part of your creative writing. So next one is technical writing. Technical writing, as the name suggests, it's mainly used for educational text or professional documents. Technical writing is all about writing on a special point that is more logical or on scientific purpose. Here, the concepts which are used are only facts, figures and proven theories. They can be only points which are not based on creativity, not based on imagination, but something very actual and real and something referable. Examples of technical writing are medical articles which are tested, tried and proven theories, proven practically and which are accepted universally. Next one is textbooks. As I discussed in the last session, textbooks are also based on facts. It is not something which is randomly chosen. Or user manuals or any kind. User manuals for that matter, it has to be something very practically applicable. For example, you buy a phone, okay, there is something called user manual, or buy any electronic items like machines, washing machine, anything, there is manuals at the attached to that particular machine. There is descriptive explanation on what you need to do, how to fix it, how to use it, how to discard it, everything is given. So that is based on, that is to the point, apt and to that particular operative system only. So those are the technical writing. Next one is your review writing. You might have come across this type of writing everywhere, especially in your social media networking sites. We see reviews, especially in e-websites. You want to buy one product, you search on that and then directly you go to the review section to see what that particular product is about and what is that exactly doing to customers, like those who have already bought it. There will be so many reviews, like you see stars, those are also given based on the reviews, like whether the consumers they share their experience on using that particular product, they give you the review, they give positive or negative review. So this is basically review writing. As the name suggests, the main aim of this type of writing is to write reviews for various things. Nowadays, basically in the current scenario, this type of writing is more popular due to the digitization of everything. You have internet, digital media everywhere, so you just click on something, you get the reviews. You just want to know about something, you just type and then you get the entire details. So this is where review writing has played major role. So people rarely shop for anything without reading reviews online. Even if you want to go to offline stores, like your nearby stores, first things what we do is type it, get the review, read the review and you generate your own opinion. It's not just one product. If we want to buy any mobile phone, what we do, we choose different companies, okay, companies with the same mobile series, and then we compare with the with the working system of it and mainly the reviews given by other consumers and also the content writers. So that is one place where this review writing is gaining more popularity. Examples for review writing are service reviews. For example, washing service, car service, basically any service. You have a service station next to you. You go to Google and type that particular service station, and you just scroll down. You will get so many reviews on that, comments on that. Sometimes it will be 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. Sometimes there won't be comments written, but even the star indicates some kind of review. So next one is book review. You might see so many books being reviewed. You find them on internet. Okay, you just type one particular book and you just reviews on that. You will get the reviews of that particular books. Product review, as I just gave you example, e-websites where you can just get the product reviews based on the particular area what you are searching for. Next one is more popular one, that is poetic writing. In this type of writing, the writer uses rhythm and rhyme to convey the story of the idea. This type of writing is broadly used for fiction. However, it is also used in metaphor or in similarities. Okay, it is more of artistic. It is more of you are giving your creative ways of telling about something. Very, very rhythmic, very artistic, very uncasual, or very, very interesting to listen, to write and to read also. So some examples of poetic writing where it is used are short stories, novels and poetry itself. So the objective writing is a type of writing where the writer is supposed to prove something, like any facts or evidence. A writer is writing a concept based on a particular objective to prove his point or to tell something to audience with the particular objective. In this writing, the writer must remain unbiased about the topic so the reader can form their own opinion. Your duty is to just to tell, not to create an opinion or to prompt an opinion. Okay, as a writer, you're just putting forward one idea with the objective, and the option is left for the audience to create their own idea. It is mainly used for presenting a neutral point of view towards a specific idea and for formal writing. Examples of objective writing are assertive text and mostly text that is written for educational purposes. Next one is subjective writing. So as objective writing, opposite is subjective writing. Subjective writing is basically used to showcase the author's feelings, opinions and preferences on something. As we saw in objective writing, there is no opinion generated, there is no feeling showcase, but it is just a putting forward of particular point in front of the audience or readers. The opinion, feelings are left to the audience or the reader. When it comes to subjective writing, it is more of author's point of view or feelings or his preferences on particular things. In other words, this type of writing style originated from the writer's personal experience. Okay, it's like a writer has gone through some experience and he want to put forward that concept with the feelings, with his own reviews, with his own experiences on that particular events or things. In this writing style, the author need not bother about accuracy and correctness of the writing, because what all his matter is what he is giving his feelings or his opinion on something. That opinion might be wrong or accurate for the readers or the audience. That is the next stage wherein the audience respond, whether it is yes or whether it is no, or if it is accurate or it is not. It is just where author is giving his opinion on something based on his experience. For example is blogs. You see lot of blogs or vlogs, video blogs or written text, the blogs, wherein the author writes his point of view or his experiences. Vlogs for that matter, the daily activities of a blogger is recorded in the video, wherein he is giving all about himself, all about his experiences. The audiences are given reviews, comments, shares. Okay, but there, in case of online platform, the comment share is possible. In case of offline, this kind of concept are, the exchange of messages takes time. When it comes to a book, in a book, a writer has written about something, that takes some time to reach the the message transmitted between the reader and the writer takes time. But when it comes to online platform, it is faster than it may not be quick, but it is faster than the offline media. So blogs are one example. Opinionated pieces, for that matter, in newspapers, editor's note or some opinion pieces, those are also part of your subjective writing. And travelogues and many more. Okay, travelogues are something, there are so many travel bloggers who visit so many new places and they record their experiences and they write about it, right? In terms of the best, you might see, when you go on online, you search for it, best places to visit in Delhi. Okay, you get so many articles. Now those are the articles written by travelogues, because they go there or they gain the experience of that particular place and they write about it. They share their experience, how they actually went to that place. They encountered some experiences, both positive, negative. So those are the example for subjective writing. So next type of writing is academic writing. So as the name suggests, these are academic writing from the academic professionals. In this type of writing used in schools or universities related to publications is called academic style. You will find this kind of writing in school journals, books or academic research. There are two types of academic writing, that is student academic writing and expert academic writing. So basically the academic writing are in the form of thesis, dissertation, academic journals or research papers, essays, literature review. But when it comes to students, the author becomes the student, that is student academic writing, and expert, that is your professionals, teaching faculty or academicians writing these papers. So these are the two different types of academic writing. Some of the examples for academic writing are research papers, essays, case studies, literature review, thesis and dissertations, academic journal articles, conference papers, and even some of the articles for college magazines based on some particular issue. Even that is part of your academic writing. So next, coming to journalistic writing. So in the beginning of the session, we discussed about writing, we related writing and journalism, okay, or journalist for that matter. So we discussed it is not only journalists who write articles or write, basically it's also others who have the interest for that. So let's look into what is this journalistic writing specifically. This type of writing style is used for news related content. So you will find this type of writing style in newspapers, magazines, online news content and many more. The main purpose of this writing type is to provide information to the people in a clear and concise manner. Okay, some of the examples are news articles, feature stories, editorial pieces, op-eds, investigative reports and so on. So in this type of writing, it is always about a news or about a story on unbiased format. Journalists basically do not give their opinion in the report, but just explain what happened, what is happening, or they can even predict the future in terms of what's going to happen. That is also based on information on the factual content only. They cannot imagine what's going to happen, but they have to just refer the facts and they tell what is the next. Or if in case, you might see lot of examples in your articles, police investigation is going on, or the news is, and further story we will come to know only after the investigation. So that is the future prediction you're telling, but that again being very accurate and concise, not just giving a random statement. A last type of writing is business writing. So as the name suggests, it is more of business and corporate writing. So this type of writing is used for professional and business content, for example emails, memos, reports, etc. This is the purposeful writing style that is used for providing relevant information to the reader in a clear, effective and concise manner. So in this part, the audience are the employees or the consumers, which the business or the firm is talking to the audience. So it is a clear form of business communicating with its employees or the consumers or different stakeholders. Examples for business writing are emails. There could be emails from the CEO or the owner of the company to their subordinates, or the higher manager to the subordinates, okay, and memos, business letters, reports, proposals, presentations, marketing materials, could be anything but related to business, related to particular firm, and that is communicated, that particular message is being communicated to the audience or stakeholders, internals and external stakeholders. So that's where we are finished with the different types of writing. There were about 13 different types of writing. So you just have to find out which one suits best for you. So in the beginning session, we discussed you can start writing at your college level. I told you example of reporting an event, reporting a function, and you are publishing it. It could be in your college magazine, or you can even send it to the press or the media related to your college. So in order to start writing, let's look into this report writing format, or a report of your college event, of anything that could be submitted to particular media for publication or broadcasting. Let's look into the basic report writing. So we all have the practice of reading the newspaper. Okay, do you all read newspaper? If yes, good. If it's no, I think you all should start reading newspaper. But most of us read newspapers through social media networking sites. Okay, not really a newspaper, or you can even go to news websites. Okay, or they have, many of the news media channels have their own networking sites, social networking sites, or the news websites or news portal for that matter. Okay, we have so many apps based on that particular portals. So you can download that and you can read from there. I suggest never to read news from social media networking sites, because you get all filtered news. No, it's not like every news you are going to read, but it is only filtered news based on your preferences. So that is one suggestion from my side. Never to read newspaper from social media networking sites, but go to the website of a particular channel, or download the app. It could be anything, BBC, News 18 or Udayavani, or any of the news media. Download the app and refer the news. Yes, so I assume that most of us read newspaper or consume news from anywhere. Okay, so at times we just read the headlines. Even if you are supposed to ask to go to library, you are asked to read the newspaper. What the first thing what we do is read headlines. Okay, if the headline is interesting, we go into the article, at least the first para, the lead story we read. So we decide to read the full news article only if the headline is interesting, isn't it? So the body also has to sound interesting, or must be engaging enough, otherwise we skip the news. We basically, there is a study which shows that readers do not read the newspaper, they just scan, like how you do scanning, we just scan it, okay, or maybe from left to right corner or right to left corner and top to down corners, we just scan or scanning mainly the headline, something which is interesting, we pause there and we read more about it, okay, otherwise we skip that particular news. Writing a news report is very different from writing general article. Okay, a news report is an informative report, not an opinionated article. We just gave you example of objective and subjective writing. Similarly, news report is basically objective writing, not subjective writing, where you are not giving your opinion in news report, but it is the news based on facts and figure and actual events which are unknown. So let's look into a format for writing a report. Take a look at following section to understand how you can structure your news report. Basically, we start with headline, below that you have byline, after that you have place and date, then introducing paragraph, body and conclusion. Okay, a news report should include the following in the report writing. So that is headline, which tells what the story is about. Byline, it tells about the writer of the story. Sometimes we may not get the name of the person or a journalist. We might read special correspondent or correspondent. Okay, so that depends on the newspaper, but that is called byline. Okay, and then lead covers the most important facts. Next comes your body, includes a detailed account of the event or the occurrence, and then ending that talks about the solution for something to think about. Okay, that is the conclusion or a future note. Writing process. So basically in journalism or in report writing, we follow inverted pyramid style writing. As you can see, it starts with the lead and the most important facts and background information. Background information is the least important, but it is also important. I told least important. That comes at the end of the report. Okay, while writing the report, make sure to start with the introductory paragraph, which must include the main story. Okay, as we say in writing process, what is report is basically we answer 5 W's and 1 H. Okay, so 5 W's and 1 H, but is it all report consist of all these 5 W's and 1 H? Okay, basically what is this 5 W's and 1 H? So that is what, where, why, when and who. 1 H is how. And not all the time you get answers for these 5 W's and 1 H in report. Yes, that is basically because all the events does not have all the stories, wherein journalists write whatever is remaining or whatever the pieces of information are remaining or available, they make a report out of that particular incidents. Okay, and then further, which is not known, that can be added to background information for further follow-up stories. As I gave you example that time, wherein you say the full detail can be will be available once the police investigation is over or the police are on the investigation process. Okay, that is the conclusion, that particular news at the time, but then you have follow-up story in the next events. Okay. So while writing, we make sure you start with the introductory part, which must include the main story. The main story is what exactly, it depends what 5 W's and 1 H you use. Usually it's not like sometime when we know, what we know, why is not known. Who is also not known. Sometime who is the victim, who is the culprit, we do not know. Who is the actual person who is involved behind that, we do not know. And then why exactly, again we are not knowing. So it depends based on the available information. A reporter has to design the report deciding what goes on lead story, what goes on most important facts and the background. So, people involved, place and date have to be mentioned in this paragraph. This can be followed by a detailed account of event or occurrence. Okay. So, it is basically you are preparing the structure based on the available data. It is not like we always have complete data, but as you are writing, you decide what is more prominent that goes on the lead part, that is in the first paragraph of your body, and then comes your most important facts and then the background. The body of the report must include other relevant information about the event. Since you have written most important pieces in your lead story, then you go to the detailed information or background information or the relevant one in the next paragraph, that is most important facts. You can describe whatever you noted during the site visit and add the interviews you took. Make sure that the report is written in the third person point of view and in a neutral voice, not just I saw this or this is what happened or this is like it's not from first person perspective, it is always from third person perspective. It must be written in a way that sounds more informative rather than opinionated. There is not much place for personal emotions in a news report. It has to be objective. It's not subjective. You are not giving your opinion. In case if you are not having answers for all 5 W's, you are not filling your points over there. You are not giving your opinion over there. You are not giving your objective ideas or subjective ideas over there. It has to be left blank, but being very neutral and not giving false information and your opinion. It has to sound more informative than your opinions over there. And then your complete background story. Background is depending on what exactly the event is or why this is happening, or you can also talk about how frequently that particular event was happening, or you can also talk about what are going to be happening in that particular event or what is happening in the future. All that you can include in your background story. For example, if you talk about a new metro station in Mangalore, okay, you talk about when is it going to be really inaugurated. So, you are going to talk about when is it going to be inaugurated, who is coming for the inauguration and when is it really happening, and that is your lead story. In the next para, you can talk about the description of that metro, for example, from where to where that metro is traveling, or you can talk about some more features of that particular metro. In the last or in the background story, you can talk about more about the whole process of this metro, or what was the budget of the metro, or you can talk about how this particular metro is going to affect or impact the city. So, all those are the background stories. Okay. In the writing process, as I told you, answering 5 W's and 1 H. Who, what, when, why and where and how. So, while writing a news report, make sure you answer all the 5 W's questions, okay. But then in case if you do not have, you can just leave it blank, in the sense you are not giving a blank place over there, but covering it with whatever you are going to have or whatever information is available to the reporting. So, what was the event? Where did it take place? When did it take place? For example, date and time. Who was involved in the event? Why did it happen? How did the event happen? Okay, but when we talk about college events, I am sure you will get answers for all 5 W's and 1 H, isn't it? So, when we talk about real news stories from the real world, some 5 W's or some 1 H might be missing. But when it comes to you as a college reporter or reporting a college event, I am sure all 5 W's and 1 H are available. Like for example, what was the event? You have your Onam celebration or you have your Freshers Day celebration, that is the event. Where did it take place? Whether you can mention whether it took place in the college auditorium or in the open area. you can describe that. When did it take place? You can describe the date of the actual event, like you are having on this date of this particular event. Who was involved in the event? Who was involved in the, for example, who is your chief guest? Who is the guest invited, or who others are involved, like principal, or if you have invited some guest from outside, you can mention about that. And why did it happen, that you can talk in the background story. Why, you can mention the prominence of the particular event, whether this is the first time you are celebrating, or how long have you been celebrating this event, or what is the other prominence, why are you actually celebrating this event in the college, you can mention that. And how did the event happen, you can talk about the organizing committee, and you can talk about what are all going to be there in the event. For example, each description of the events, like what's going to be there, what is the speciality of that particular event, you can talk about that. Again, to conclude, all 5 W's and 1 H are not available sometime, but making the best use of the content and facts are more important while writing the report. So that's it for today. I hope you understood, and you are going to start writing right now and right today as we discussed. But before that, I want you all to just learn about yourself, know about yourself, and understand in which area you fit in. It's not like everybody likes to write in all the areas, or some are blessed with poetic type of writing, or narrative writing, or creative writing. Some are good at imagination, some are good at writing what exactly happened. So every one of us have some or the other qualities. It's just that how you make use of the information and how you make use of the opportunity given decides whether you are going to become a good writer or good any kind of writer for that matter. Okay, writers are highly in demand, not just in the college but also in the professional field. You can, if you are really good at writing, you can start as freelance writers, and you can also start that right now. You can start writing and give the piece to the media, wherein you are given an opportunity to be published, or that can be your professional way, or just starting your professional life right now as a freelance writers or content writers or part-time content writers. Okay, so gradually you can develop on the same thing, and who knows, you might become an author of many books. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you all.